Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Julie.
Yay. Yay, Dr. Hock. Woo! Um, I just want to say welcome to everyone listening in on this call today, on this video, I should say. I've decided to not only make videos where I'm the one speaking, but also to invite some of my awesome energy healer friends on board so that we can share we can expand frequencies together by sharing our energy healing modalities. So my first ever guest on my brand new channel is Dr. Hock, which I just love this guy. Some of you might have seen him interview me on his channel as well. I um, so I want to just take the time to allow Dr. Hock to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Julie Claire. I'm so happy to connect with you and to be interviewed today. And you asked me to talk about myself. Well, I've never done so. So it's an opportunity for me to introduce. Uh, my name is Dr. Hock Yo, and I qualified as a medical consultant. And for about 20 years, I've been practicing medicine until, and even after did my postgrad, I found that the knowledge I have isn't enough to solve many of my patients' problems, Julie. So it started me thinking of, I got to stop doing postgrads. I have actually gone into several medical fields and, fully qualified, highly qualified, but there is a gap. There's a certain amount of patients which I just can't help them.
Yes.
So
It's
that took me on a journey.
Yes, yes, it does. When we realize that all this academic knowledge, it's not enough. It's missing
Right.
something so important.
Yeah. So when I realized that, I first went into um, using my knowledge of feng shui.
Hmm.
Yes, there is a medical feng shui aspect which I practice, and I've had a few remarkable results. Can I give you an example, Julie?
Of course, please do. This is why we're hanging out together.
Yeah, so that people can understand that feng shui is not just what they perceive it to be, but I have developed the medical aspect. So I had one case one day when I was in my surgery. A patient and her husband walked in, and the moment they walked in, I know somehow intuitively, I said to myself, oh.
Oh, I love it when you say that.
And they didn't tell me much. They just said that she gave me a very vague complaint. They're feeling lethargic, no zest in life, and depressed, and so on. And then I look at her and I said that, she doesn't really need medical treatment because I could sense that there's something else that can solve her problem. And the husband and wife was, oh wow, they were surprised. Then only they confess that they have gone to so many hospitals, private hospitals, and private other doctors. They could never solve her problem. So I said to them that, well, I'm going to suggest something unconventional because I had a feeling at what you call it intuition that they would accept what I'm going to tell them because they really went into a dead end with medical doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they
So I
were they
say,
were ready. They were ready for
uh,
something else.
you're right, you're right. In fact, I believe um, some forces, some good forces must have sent them to me.
Yeah, to help you see that you were ready too.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, I'm going to do some feng shui to you to help to help you overcome all your medical problems. And then they said, let, let them think about it and they will get back to me. Indeed, within a few days, the husband rang me up and asked me to go ahead. Now, this story has a very funny and sinister twist. On my way to do feng shui for them in their house, I met with a little accident.
A little one?
A little one, yeah. And that to me was a warning
Mm-hmm.
that forces do not want me to go there. And when I arrived there, I did my readings of the place, and I always tell them that I will come back a few days later with a full report.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back a few days later, and I had another tiny little accident. You know, I
Wow,
hit.
the universe talking so loud, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So I knew there were again forces preventing me. Anyway, I reached there safely. I rang the doorbell, and then the wife opened the door. The wife said, "Oh, very apologetically, that her husband is not around. If I don't mind waiting because they both want to hear." I said, "Okay, no problems." And I said, "Where did he go?" So the wife said, "He had an accident and he's just gone to the accident and emergency in a hospital." Oh, wow. What's
Wow.
happening? What's
Wow.
happening, Julie? Because, in fact, I nearly fainted because in my written report, I type it out, I did state that the husband will face accidents. So it was proof in a written way, all right? So when her husband came back after about half an hour of waiting, he was in bandages.
And you're like, here's the
and
report.
and I say, "Here's a report." I'm so sorry I couldn't warn you earlier, but this is about to happen. So
Mm,
they were all very attentive. And then I told them my analysis. I said to them, I couldn't do much. And they
mm,
were shocked. I said, my advice is for them to move out of their house
mm,
because the forces there, the negative forces and other things are so strong that I cannot fight them.
mm.
And then they confess. They told me that I'm the third feng shui master that they employed. The
Third
first,
time is a charm, right? The third time is a charm. We finally
exactly,
listen.
yeah. The first two say that they could solve their problem, but they couldn't.
Mm,
All right. But it was a surprise to them when I just blurted it out. The only solution is for them to move out because the forces there are indeed too great for me to fight. And then I said also, um, if they don't move, there could be a death even,
mm,
or it could have happened also previously, but it was it was avoided. And then the wife said that she had indeed 3 miscarriages.
oh, so there were deaths.
Yeah, and then they really took my advice. They looked for another place to rent. They move out. And within a week of moving out, Julie, the wife recovered from all her ailments of aches, pains, depression, insomnia, and no appetite without giving her a tablet,
Yeah, with no medication at all. Yeah.
with no medication at all.
Yeah, energies are so powerful, like
Yeah,
these invisible energies, we act like they're not
right,
there, and it's like
right.
our bodies let us
But
know.
there was a negative effect, Julie. The negative effect was this couple relied too much on me because they keep phoning me.
And yeah, well, that's the dependency thing, right? Then you have to go, no,
Exactly,
no, you're on your own. I helped you out.
exactly.
Walk, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because they keep bugging me for little advice here and there. At first, I entertain them because it's just a early phase, right? To give them encouragement and so on. But then later, I say, you got to stop. I solved your problem, you know. And
Yeah.
in fact, the husband also benefited because um, he was so afraid to drive when they were in the old house. After they moved to the new place, he got his confidence back and he could run errands for the family, you know.
Mm-hmm.
At least he doesn't depend on the wife to drive him around.
No, but then the wife was depending on you.
So I managed to win them off, and then I'm glad I was able to help without them spending any more money with medical investigations and drugs and other things, you know. So that was my most so-called famous case, actually. I have other smaller cases,
Mm-hmm.
but then later on, I dive into another form of healing.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, my sister introduced me to a Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it up and I use it a lot. So then I have three modalities. If I can solve a problem with a tablet, I'll do it. All
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, because some problems are physical. There
Yeah,
is such a thing as that. Yeah.
exactly. And then if I find that they need Reiki or they need medical feng shui, I would offer to them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, it was a very nice way to solve problem, and I solved a lot of problems with just the energy healing or Reiki. And then one day, I had a dream. An old man appeared, an old sage, you know, like you see in the old Taoist, you know, paintings.
Yes.
He appeared in my dream, and he said um, he's going to upgrade me. And when he said that, he zapped me with a bright light, the brightest light that you can ever imagine, but it wasn't hurting my eyes, you know. And I woke up. And later on, I met my living master, Mr. Wayne Tan, and he brought me to blue energy healing. And
Ooh.
ever since then, and ever since then, I've been using blue healing 90% of the time.
Wow. That's a testimonial to blue energy.
Yeah, that's right. So it's been a very interesting journey.
And can you tell us a bit more about blue energy? Like,
Oh yeah, oh yeah. um, well, it's energy that comes from the eastern heavens, and I channel this energy. And when I do healing, I can use this energy to diagnose how severe the case is, and I also will know a little bit more about their condition. I
excellent.
give you an example. Another example, Julie.
Yes. It's your turn, your turn.
You see, examples are important because people will understand
Absolutely. It's
easier.
it's more grounded and it's easier for the physical mind
Right.
to understand. Yes.
Yeah. So I had this case from Singapore, and I was contacted and asked to solve this problem because this young man was admitted in the hospital in Singapore with long time fever, and he had to be in intensive care as well. So I said, okay, and I sent blue energy. He got better. And then I tried to diagnose what was the virus or the bacteria or the fungus, and I got it that it was a kind of a virus. And to tell you, this story is important because this young man was transferred out of the ICU to the general ward, and I have no idea. So when the next time I did a scheduled healing for him, I sent the energy to him in the ICU, but I felt the energy wasn't reaching him. I
Uh-huh.
know it, And I got a shock because I said to myself, he was improving and now he's not receiving it. It could mean A, he's not there. And if he's not there, is he dead and gone? And I don't know about it.
Yeah, and
But
that'd
it
be a little bit
turns out,
shocking, right? Like it's
yeah, I got a shock because I know when people receive it and how
Mhm.
much they receive it.
Yes.
And then later on, I got a message from this young man and he says, hey, I'm now in the general ward. Oh,
And that's when the Buddha laugh happens. You're like, oh.
oh yeah. So I told him, young man, you got to tell me everything because the energy is directed with GPS locations. So, so this explains that location is important, and when I direct the energy is very specific,
Yeah,
and
and measurable as well. Like that's
yeah,
that's what's so incredible about energy when you start working with it and how intelligent it is.
yes,
And
it's
and the more we kind of get out of the way, the more the energy can really give give us its intelligence, and we're
yeah,
just the channel. It's so
that's
wonderful.
right, that's right.
Mm.
So eventually, this young man recovered, and that was a case in blue energy healing. I have many others, but I don't think it is as or we have time to talk about all these cases. One case is suffice.
Yeah. I know that if there's one thing that's like one of the most important things in our world today, it's probably always been very important, but even more now, with this virus and that virus. And in Canada, we had the SARS virus a couple of years back, and it's just like the amount of like fear that people go into. And in my own healing practice, it's so focused on helping people build proper spiritual boundaries, because what I call joyful soul expansion is the opposite of ego contraction. And that ego contraction is fear-based, and it also contracts your boundaries, and it contracts your immune system, and so it's such an important time for all of us to build proper spiritual boundaries that are based on love and clearly defined information that we choose, and building immune systems that are much more in tune with energies. And I think maybe that's kind of partly what you want to talk to us a little bit about today, no?
Oh, yes, indeed, because as you know, or as people know, the current uh, virus infection that is going on worldwide in more than about 27 countries now, the so-called coronavirus, or what is known now officially as COVID-19.
Oh, it has an official name now. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, COVID-19 announced by WHO. So, okay, we won't go into the specifics, into the other aspects, but I'm observing that a lot of people have more fear, and fear do not help the situation or improve their own immune system.
No, and it does not. And it also, like, it creates so much interference in your spiritual boundaries that you start letting anything in. Like that. This is
Yeah,
how snake oil people, like in the cowboy times, were selling things that had nothing in them. And
yeah,
people become desperate, and then they completely leak out their power. And they have no more understanding that you are the core of your immune system, right? Your
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such an important discussion.
Right. And it's also because I come to understand that there were lots of people who are peddling or selling stuff, recommending stuff that this will help, that will help. And the public is very confused and they fall into it.
Yeah.
So I would like to take this opportunity to teach your viewers something actually they can learn it now and free to improve their immune system, Julie.
Oh, I love it. Yay.
Yeah, it's to empower them as all the time that you are talking about. Shall
Absolutely.
we start?
Absolutely. Let's go. I love it.
You can do it with me.
I will.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the steps are very simple. I'm going to teach you this Taoist method, which I learned from the teachings of Master Zhigang Sha. And it is to improve your immune system for against any kind of infection. All right.
Excellent.
So, yeah. And it's very simple, but just follow what I do now. Uh, but since I need to speak, I will open my eyes. It's best that you just close your eyes, relax, and take 3 deep breaths now. Let go. Breathe in deep. Let go. One more time. Breathe in deep to the belly. Let go. All right. So now, because I need to demonstrate, Julie, you can open your eyes a while. Can you see my fingers?
Yes, I can.
You close them this way, all 5.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Okay, we are ready for the second step now. Close your eyes.
Does it matter if it's the right hand or the left hand?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. You tap on your sternum, like so. And as you tap, can you please say this word? Golden light prevents.
Golden
light prevents.
Golden light prevents.
That's all. Golden light prevents. So you can imagine golden light.
Okay. Golden light
and will help you to prevent. You can do this for as long as your body feels it that you need to do. You can do it many times a day and anytime.
Yeah, and like for the visualization aspect, like you're really visualizing golden light going into the sternum.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have our thymus gland right there, and that's like the
exactly.
immune system or gland.
Right. I was about to explain this, Julie,
Sorry.
because no, it's okay. Your anatomy knowledge is very good. Okay. The thing is this. This simple practice is profound, and the science behind it is this. Behind our sternum, all right, is our thymus gland. And as we age, the thymus gland shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
Mm.
The thymus gland is very important for our immune system, okay?
Yes.
Right. So when you tap on your thymus gland, you help to sort of awake it, energize it, all right, for it to produce more antibodies and all the other cells involved in the immune system, the T cells, the B cells, and the killer cells, whatever.
Is
All
there
right?
something about lymphocytes too? Like I'm hearing
Oh, yeah.
lymphocytes, but I don't know what that
Yeah.
is. No. I'm like, okay, lymphocytes.
Yeah. So there is a science behind tapping, you know.
Absolutely, I know tapping. Yes.
Right. That's right. So this tapping is concentrated on your sternum to awaken and improve your immune system. Now, the words that follow, golden light prevents, and you leave it blank, is very important, because we don't want to specifically say golden light prevents cough or golden light prevents flu, all right? Because
Absolutely.
then,
That creates a whole bunch of problems, right? It's like all of a sudden you're deciding what needs to be prevented, and it's like,
exactly,
yeah, mm-hmm, I know.
exactly, right. So don't be too smart and
Mm-hmm.
add words behind, to be
Yes.
specific, all right? Just
Mm.
say golden light prevents, golden light prevents. Imagine the golden light, all right? Golden light prevents. That's it. It's so simple and effective, and you have mastered the technique.
Wow, it's like some of these wonderful, often the most simple methods are the most powerful. It's incredible, right? You got all these
Exactly.
complicated things going on in the world, and it's like, sometimes like healing is just breathe, you know, just
Yeah,
breathe deeply.
yeah. Because a lot of people don't breathe deeply to get the oxygen in, all right, and get all the other noxious things out.
Yeah,
So breathing is so important, honestly,
yeah,
because when a baby is born, it needs to cry because to take a deep breath and breathe.
yes, to fill
Okay,
up the lungs, right? They were full of liquid.
and life is breath, breath is life.
Absolutely. So, like, if we were to sum it up, it's basically 3 steps, right? We take
Yep,
3 nice deep breaths. We inhale deeply, we let go on the exhale. Then we put our 5 fingers together.
yep,
And then, as we are tapping on the sternum to access
yep,
the thymus behind it, we say golden light prevents as we
yep.
visualize the golden light coming in.
Right. Now, in Taoist thinking, our 5 fingers are the 5 elements.
Oh,
It's
cool.
powerful. So you're
Mhm.
using and calling the spirit of the 5 elements, and the elements in Taoist thinking is water, wood, fire, earth, and metal.
Yes.
Yeah. So the 5 fingers represent the 5 elements.
Yeah,
Got it?
we could have a whole other talk just about these 5 elements, because like in the Occidental world, we're all about the 5 elements of air, water, earth, fire, and ether.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
yeah,
So, and I like one thing that you mentioned, the simplest things are actually the most effective and most powerful.
it really is. I have yet to be, I spent 11 years in academia complexifying everything just to finally like realize this. I just threw all that stuff out, and the information that comes in is much more powerful, and it goes right into the core of your being. I think it's the ego that likes complexity. It makes it feel important and things like that, like things are so much simpler than
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And what it's such freedom to realize that, to come back. It's like to get out of our mind and come back to our senses. It's
Exactly.
such a
Yeah.
great saying.
So, Julie, I would like to thank you again to give me the opportunity to tell people not to be in fear and to use the golden light, all right, any time of the day, how many times you want to do it to improve their immune system, especially during these times.
Absolutely. Well, you're so welcome. I love you, and I love hanging out with you and talking with you, and you can come back anytime you want. And one thing I noticed while I was doing the visualizing the golden energy going in is like that it really wants to radiate. It starts radiating like everywhere. So it's like you can even just, you can, whoever's doing this, you can add that feeling of having it radiate. It's almost like your thymus gland is radiating a new information to all of the cells, letting you know, it's okay. And golden
Right.
energy is very, very powerful. Very powerful. Oh.
So yeah, yeah, it is so important during these times of confusion, the world is having. And one other esoteric news I have is I think things will start to wane down by May, June.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, there are also, as our friend Etienne mentioned, that there are other benevolent forces trying to control what is going on. And we do our part,
Mm.
right, with raising our vibrations,
Yes.
have no fear, right, and raise our own immune system. You have the power to do that now.
Absolutely. We all do. And you know, it's like a science, and a couple of hundred years of empirical science have left a lot of people like, stuck with that atheist kind of view. And they just, it's like you're either stuck in a world where there's evil things, or there's just nothing and you're on a rock and nothing makes sense and you're gonna die, like and it's like, it's neither of those, like there really is an expansion process happening. There really are very benevolent energies uh, outside of us and within us as well. This is the
Yeah,
thing, right? It's like
yeah,
our souls are waking up, and it's about it's an awakening process of all of the fabric of time and space. It's actually so beautiful, you know, like, and that's all I want to do. I just want to participate to joyful soul expansion, and just like, let's just bring it on and open our hearts so big that
yeah.
it's like we create that world of love and beauty and harmony. It's I'm so happy to participate to that, and I'm so happy that you are too. And thank you so much for sharing that beautiful method with us.
It's my pleasure. And once again, I'd like to thank you, Julie. And I will sign it off with a prayer.
Oh, okay.
Oni Tofo.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Hock.
You're welcome.